So, I've already mentioned I hate LeBron James. I mentioned this several times. I reveled in his defeat in this year's NBA Finals. But come on, I am so sick of hearing about him. I can't even blame him this time. It's just ESPN constantly covering the LeBron watch ever since he opted out of his contract. And that's another thing. If I was a Miami fan, I'd be kind of ticked off right now. I mean, I know you saw it coming that he could opt out, but I mean, he goes there and promises not 4, not 5, not 6 championships. And 4 years into it, and 2 championships into it, he's already opting out. Oh, he'll probably come back. But I mean, I don't know. Something to me with loyalty. And something about... I know sports today is hardly about loyalty. Players will say all the time, oh, they want to stay with this team, they want to retire with this team. And the next year, they're off with the rival team because they got more money. So, I'm not... new to that concept. I'm not surprised LeBron left Cleveland. I wouldn't be surprised if he left Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to Miami, though. But just this idea that he's this great player, but he needs all these great players around him. Like, if you're so great, LeBron, and you like a certain place, why don't you just go to it? Because you're LeBron freaking James. People are chasing you around because you're the best player. If a team has all these good players, why do they need you? Well, the Clippers, the Cavaliers, whoever, and they're going to go, oh, we got Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, come play for us. Oh, we got Carmelo, we got this, we got that. What's the difference, LeBron? You're the best player there is. It shouldn't matter who you play with. That's how I take it, but, whatever. I understand you want a chance to win. You don't want to go to just any old team, but I don't know. The whole thing with Cleveland still rubbed me the wrong way. I'm a loyal type of person. I don't really handle that kind of stuff well. And that on top of the fact that he promised all these titles before even playing a game. And yes, so far he stood up to what he said. They made 4 straight finals, I get all that. But even if you look, and I'm not trying to make excuses here or whatever, I guess I am, but the 2012 they were taken to 7 games by the Celtics, and you could argue the Celtics were just too old to beat them. Miami had a lot more youth than the Celtics at that time. And then they faced an inexperienced Oklahoma City team and kind of blew them out. So fine, he won a title. Then the next year, they go up against the Spurs. And yes, they won the title. The Heat won their 2nd straight title. But it wasn't really that easy, as we all noticed. I mean, they could have blown that many times. They barely held on because of Ray Allen and because of his backup helping him out. And ironically, I think this year was the first year LeBron had to carry the team since Cleveland. He had to play his best basketball, and they got annihilated by a superior Spurs team, even with LeBron playing his best. So it's no wonder he's looking for a better surrounding cast. But I go back to his days with Cleveland. I didn't always hate LeBron. I knew he was a great player. He was a rival for the Celtics, so I didn't want him to do well, but at the same time, I didn't hate him. And I really respected him when he was with Cleveland, and he, kept trying to get them past Detroit when the Pistons were really good. And there was a playoff game, I want to say, where he scored 25 out of 30 points that they scored in the quarter. I mean, he, carried that Cleveland team. I admired that. That was a challenge. That was hard. When you got people triple teaming you and you're still scoring, that to me is more difficult than going to Miami, handing the ball off to Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh and saying, do my dirty work for me while I do some frickin' dunks. I'm sorry. That to me took guts. And isn't it funny how we're not hearing from LeBron at all now that he lost? Oh, if they won, he'd be on every talk show. He'd be doing all this stuff, some promotions with some company with the 3 trophies and all this nonsense, trying to compare him to Jordan. We'd be hearing all about that. But since he lost, we're still going to hear about him, of course, because we can never not hear about him. But now that he lost, it's all about, oh, what's his legacy? What's this? What's that? Who gives a rat's ass, to be honest? But, obviously LeBron does. He won't say it, but he does want to win more titles than Jordan. He wants to win more titles than anyone. And he doesn't care if he happens to just go to whoever the best team is every year. That's why he built in this opt-out clause. To me, that's equivalent. Maybe this is a bad metaphor, but say you're in a relationship with someone, and a few years into it, they go, well, I'll probably stay with you, but I'm just going to kind of see what's out there, maybe get some offers. I won't take them, probably, but I'll be back. To me, it's like LeBron's I'm loyal to Miami. Oh, yeah, we're going to win all these titles. Rah, rah, rah. Great brotherhood here in Miami with my best buds and Dwayne Wade. Now Dwayne Wade starts getting a little older. Chris Bosh maybe isn't as effective. And, Ray Allen, who knows if he's coming back. And the rest of the team's kind of in flux. And LeBron's going, well, maybe I can play with Carmelo. Maybe I can play with... Are you kidding me? Why don't you just go play with Durant and get it over with? Durant and LeBron on the same team. Wouldn't that be fantastic? How about every year LeBron just gets to pick what team he goes to, and whoever has the best players he'll go to? I'm sorry, I don't respect that. That is quitting. That is not competing. Yes, you still have to win the games, but it's not... He gets on my nerves even without trying to. Even when it's not him, it's the ESPN people. Oh, well, so-and-so, is trying to get LeBron, but they don't have, enough all-stars to put around him. He is an all-star! It's so stupid. I know, that there's a team, and, I should be happy that he's not a selfish team player or whatever. He wants to defer to other people, but it's just to the point now, if he goes to another team, if he goes to his third team in 5 years or whatever it would be, at that point, doesn't that just lessen the whole thing? If he does stay in Miami for another 5 or 10 years and actually win some of those titles, at least then I can say, all right, you kind of kept your word, even though it was a ridiculous promise. But if he opts out, even if he comes back this year, if he opts out next year, if he opts out the year after, just to play with a younger team, just to play, the only way, and again, I know he's not trying to win my love back or whatever, but the only way I might have a little more respect for him is if he went back to Cleveland. If only because of just how things started and how things ended there. That being his hometown team, that being the team that drafted him, and there were a lot of unrealistic expectations on him. I realize that. To expect him to bring that Cleveland team to the finals every year and to expect them to win it when they had to compete against the Celtics when they were good and, the Spurs back in '07. Yeah, that was a lot to ask. I admit that. But then, to jump to this team the year after, in LeBron's case, to Miami, and just all of a sudden, after having all this trouble winning a title, just to go, this is going to be easy. We're going to win 8 of these things. Really? You saw firsthand how hard it was to win a title, LeBron. You saw in Cleveland how you were the number 1 seed every year and still lost every year. And then you go to another team, you're the number 1 seed. They also lost in the finals to the Mavericks that year, by the way. And he's still going on about how many titles they're going to win. It's obviously not easy. Some of the best teams make it and they don't even get to the finals. Some of the teams in the West this year were better than the Heat, were better than the Pacers, and they didn't get out of the second round. The Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, the Clippers all had teams that were at least comparable to Miami, and they didn't even see the finals. So LeBron's got to shut his mouth and play on a team for whatever reason he wants, I guess. If it's money, if it's just being with his friends, if it's playing on the championship team. He just needs to play basketball and shut up, because I am sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of him crying every time he doesn't get a title, and I'm sick of him acting like he accomplished some great feat when he does, when he's expected to. So that's my rant on LeBron James. Who else is tired of him? I know I am. I like basketball. I like to hear about it in the offseason, but not when it's just LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. I actually don't mind Carmelo Anthony, but LeBron's just too much. Too much drama, too much crap. The less I hear about LeBron, the better.